Hey folks, I'm SimplyX, and welcome back to my Pokemon Sword mostly hardcore Nuzlocke, and yeah, I missed that I had this? I thought that you got this in the city with Nessa's gym, but I guess you get it, like, right at the start of the game when your mom gives you your camping stuff? That's my bad. Probably would have been really helpful to know that, because, you can totally get a fishing encounter in Motostoke, so we're just gonna start with that. I've leveled everything up, except for my for Mrs. Softy, so I can have a valid Pokemon to use in this encounter. Falk, Ripta, Nevermore, Coilette, and Tank and Sweater are all level 20. Continuing the trend of every Pokemon I admonish being way better than I gave it credit for, leveling Tank is actually very, very easy. It learned Double Quick super quickly. Oh, yes! Okay, that was the one I was sort of hoping for. It will be useless for a while, but when it is no longer useless, it will be most useful indeed. Yeah, Tank learning Double Quick early helped a lot. I was able to level it on the Wild Meowths. It also was really bulky, so I was able to keep it out for long periods of time to grind with. It was super useful. So, once again, I have no idea how to evaluate what is a good Pokemon and what is a bad Pokemon. So just ignore me. Odds are you'll probably come up with the right decision if you just do the opposite of what I say. Yeah, I'm too afraid to hit this thing. Okay, what to name what will eventually become a Gyarados? God willing. Ooh. So normally I'd be against using Hail, but since this thing has Ice Body, it basically gets its set up continuous healing for itself. It's already pretty... I think I can sacrifice Harden for that. You know, it makes things bad for other Pokemon that I swap in, but if worst comes to worst, that's not a bad thing to have. Okay, something explosively angry. So, one of my favorite comedians is Lewis Black, so we're gonna go with LeBlack. Yeah, and Lewis Black, his shtick is basically, going explosively angry in the middle of a bit. Especially back, you know, this is such a, like, centrist thing to say, but I much preferred his comedy style back when he was mostly doing observational comedy. He got more political as he went on, especially near the end of, George Bush Jr.'s second term, it felt like. And I wasn't as big a fan, not for like political leanings, just it wasn't as funny or cutting. It just felt like it was what everyone else was doing. Okay, so the team for this. Man, it is hard to pick between Ripta and Coilette here. I think what's going to decide it is Bulk Up is just better than Leer, so Coilette's going to get the last spot. This will be the team that I bring with me. I am bringing LeBlack, if only to start the growing process of leveling it. I guess in principle, if I'm expecting a hard fight, I should take either of Ripta or Sweater. God help me, probably Sweater, but I think we're fine as is. So let's go talk to Sonia, and then we can start up the gym battle. My plan is to do shorter videos. I'll probably try to cap them at 20 from here on. I was doing longer ones early on, just because there's so much, like, plot handholdiness going on that I didn't want to have, like, a couple videos where just nothing happens and it's all boring text mashing. I think we're through the worst of it now. Obviously, you know, once we get near the end, as we hit the plot kicking into gear, it'll get worse again, but I think this is fine for now. So, back to the more short videos. There's a lot that... I almost said Niantic. There's a lot that Game Freak did wrong with these games. One thing I kind of give them some props for is foreshadowing the Gigantamax form of Toxtricity here before it was even available to us. Because at launch, I don't believe you could get one. And they sort of show it off here, and then the event comes like, oh, you that's how you get. Okay, that's cool. Oh, cool. Free cash. Thanks, girl. I don't know. Every once in a while, they have a decent idea. It's not common, but every once in a while. I am tank. I guess it's not tank yet. So that kind of excited. I think we can do the expert belt puzzle now, but neither of like the main two I'll be using in this fight, that being Nevermore and Folk, can really take great advantage of it. I'm just gonna be using the charcoal and leave me alone. God, you are insufferable. Also, I think this one is like my favorite NPC in the game. Each time you talk to her, she like gets progressively more hyped for you. So like, you know, if you talk to her before the match, she says, "Oh, you know, if you win, I'll like maybe remember you." And then if you come back later after you've beaten it, she's like, "Oh yeah, you're really good. I'll keep an eye on you." And she's present at each of the gyms. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you. You're really cool. Let's go." It is 8:30. I cannot believe that. I randomly generated a jersey number that is one higher than Milo's. That's insane. So not that it matters, but we are locked in now per my rules. I can't leave even if I wanted to. But the level cap is now lifted, so the fact that all my team is level 20 won't be a problem. They'll probably level up on a trainer or two before we get to Milo, but that's just fine. I wonder what the speedrunner strat is for doing this. Like, I more or less just almost run in a straight line from group to group, and that seems to work fine. Gotta imagine it's a bit more optimized than that, but... Again, like, remembering this is a kid's game, it's fine. This feels so lame. You compare it to, like, what you were doing in Gen 1 and Gen 2. Like, yeah, the gym puzzles were simplistic, but, I don't know, it felt like there was a more serious tone than this. I did put Folk back at the front, right? That wasn't silly. This is as long as it's not LeBlack. Okay, good. LeBlack is the only thing on my team right now that I do not want facing battle. So the nice thing about, like, doing those grinding bits is just... I don't have to worry anymore, like, oh, I've got, like, a dead slot on my team because this Pokemon's level is so much lower that there's almost no point in using it. Like, you saw that in, like, the fight with the Pancham that I had, or with the Silipede, Salazzle, whatever it's called. Where I had, like, a couple Pokemon that were just too low level to even help me get out of it. You know, I don't want to, like, take time to grind all the time. I really just want to save it for particular moments. But now that I've done at least one grind section, the whole team is useful now. Oh, hi, Mott. So there's been some, like... I don't know if it's like an interview or just like an info dump on like the website afterwards, but for Scarlet and Violet, there's verbiage that conveys that it's more open world, as in you can have more control over the order in which you go to places, which would be interesting to see, but I wonder if they'll make use of the idea that gym leaders don't use their full team against you necessarily. They adjust your team based on your level as a trainer. Because it was in the Pokemon Origins anime where they showed Brock had like a full team of 6. He's like, oh, you've only got like 2 Pokemon so far, Rez. I'm just gonna like take these 2 and just have it that way. Which implies that gym leaders, Yeah, because you always wonder, like, oh, Geodude's supposed to be like this really good trainer in each town, but he's got a level 12 Geodude. That's probably optimal. But no, it's because they adjust to make the league make sense. So if you have a more open world Pokemon game, well, they do the same thing, where if you go to the Rock Gym first, they'll only have the Geodude and the Onix. But if you go to it much later in the game, maybe they have Kabutops and Aerodactyl and a more full, complete team. Or will they do what Gen 2 did, where, yeah, you have a choice of what direction you can go, but as a result, all the gyms are basically the same level, which will make it really hard for the first gym you do, but then by the time you're doing the last gym of the set, it's really weak, because you have that split after Ekritique where you could go left over towards City with the Lighthouse, or you could go right to the City with Team Rocket, and you could do those gyms in effectively any order you wanted, but as a result, like the level pacing just got really weird there. I hope they don't do that. I hope they go with the Pokemon Origins version of the gym leaders will have different teams depending on the order in which you face them. It'd be a lot more engaging, a lot more fun. But we shall see. I'm missing one more pod of sheep. No. Two more of the little buggers. So why do they even have legs if rolling is their more efficient means of conveyance? Like, Voltorb doesn't have feet. It would have been cool, too, if they had, like, a shiny Wooloo among the pack, just to torment you. Okay, I'm not seeing much of a reason to not just lead with Full Cure. I think he just straight up wins, just Flame Charge on the first Mon, build up a little bit of extra speed, then Dynamax, Flame, and then Max Flare, win. I'd like to do something more fun, like going with Nevermore, stack up power trips, and then sweep, but I think this just works. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can even see like, he's got his team of 6. It's not like he just manifests a much better team for the tournament at the end. He's got a good 6. He just uses 2, like, way crappier ones to make this process work. Alright. This might be, like, the best battle theme that has appeared in a Pokemon game, except maybe the champion theme in Gen 1. Like, this is just a bop. Also, if you've never tried exercising to this theme, give it a shot. It helps get the adrenaline going. Although, I actually hate this, I don't like this part nearly as much. I like the darker tone of the first part. I didn't check to see if this has Solar Beam. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have Solar Beam, and even if it did, it's got the Dynamax anyway. But it would be a little bit silly if I set up Sun for it. Did I just errored? I hope I didn't just error. That would be really silly if I just managed to error. I mean, it should still be fine though, right? Like, I still won't be able to hit me with anything all that good. Okay, no, apparently his ability is regen. So, that's just fine. affects how my Orbeetle died. I still should win this. I think I even, yeah, still even faster. And actually doing that first flame charge probably helped a lot. As he negated his speed down. Yeah, look at that. I even managed to obey, like, pure hardcore Nuzlocke rules with that one. Didn't level up till the fight was over. Good job, me. Okay, so that actually also entitles me to 2 more encounters in the wild area. I'm not positive I can make full use of them until later, just because of how dangerous some of the wild area encounters are. Like the levels of the wild area are varied depending on the region. So like, I can't remember how they work, but so the ones more towards like the north and the east of the first. Oh, I forgot to get my free ball. The ones more like the northeast of the map, and especially the north end of the map, are a much higher level than the ones that you just start with when you first get off the train. So if I were to try and just go north and get one of those encounters, 1, I'd be in serious trouble because they'd be super strong and I have a high risk of dying, but 2, I wouldn't even be able to catch them, probably. So I'll probably check that between recordings so we can start with the recapture next time. Anyway, I'm going to try to real quick get the expert belt puzzle thing, although forgetting how that works, because I can't seem to be able to talk to that. We're going to have to look into that. Alright, well, I guess I'll heal real quick and see if that TM works on anyone. I might go deal with that damn slowpoke just so it stops tormenting me. So, this is part of why I kind of like Nuzlocke, is like, if you look at this team here, it's actually really diverse and well balanced, but it's got some that I'd never really use on it. Like, I wasn't a big fan of Score Bunny, so that one's out. Okay, this one I love. But I dislike this one's design very strongly. Not my favorite fighting type, and you heard what I feel about this guy. But, you know, in total, this is actually like a really decent looking team. I'm digging this. This is what I play for. You're getting these kind of quirky, diverse teams that I wouldn't normally use, and nothing can learn Magical Leaf. Awesome. Okay, so I don't think there are any more water encounters in previous towns. I don't think there's one I can get in this town. I don't think there was one in Wedgehurst. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just gonna fly out. Oh, frightening. That's weird. Why won't my taxi pick me up? I'm waiting for it. Well, you're inside a building, dingus. So I'm just gonna fly here, and then we will start the next episode with my, hopefully, 2 wild area encounters. That'd be cool. But either way, we'll pick up with there next time. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. And, you know, if you like what you're seeing, give me a like, give me a subscribe. And if you don't like it, comment and explain why I'm awful. Anyway, I'll see you next time, guys. Later.